Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I'm your host, John the Bod, aka the Bod Father, with my lovely co-host,
Krystal.
As always, we are bringing you guys awesome interviews, and today it is an honor and privilege to have Mr. Levi Benton. He's the vocalist of Miss May I, and I've been a fan of those guys for a while now. I like what they bring to the table for music. Definitely a fresh breath of air for music. And they got a new album that's going to come out June 2nd on SharpTone Records entitled Shadows Inside. And I suggest each and every single one of you metalheads out there to pick this up because this is awesome. So, Levi, how's it going?
It's good, man. We're it's hot as crap right now. We're in Texas. It's the first day of tour. So, but it's great. It's great.
Let's jump right into this. What's impressed you the most about making the new album Shadows Inside? What's caught your eye or impressed you about it the most?
I think the craziest thing with this record is it's the most sort of memorable and honest Miss May I record we've done. We've never really released something that I can show friends and family that aren't metalheads to where they're like, oh, hey, can you send it to me again, or I want to listen to it again. And I'm like, it's memorable and sort of digestible in a whole other way, which I think is great because that we wanted to sort of write a record that was over the top, and with that, all these people that aren't even metalheads sort of are sucked into it. And I think it's the most honest because we had no one sort of holding us back or telling us what to really do. And it was just 9 months in the studio, and a lot of dark, crazy things came out.
I was getting to work with Drew Fultz, who has worked with Motionless in White, Emir, and Crown the Empire. Nick Sampson, who has worked with Asking Alexandria and Born of Osiris, and Andrew Wade, who's worked with A Day to Remember, A World Alive, and Neck Deep.
It was crazy. It was like the Avengers of producers. It was we had a crazy setup. It was the weirdest one was Drew, because when we signed with the SharpTone, they suggested we went to a vocal producer, and me being a vocalist, I didn't even know that was a thing, which I felt really dumb, knowing that all these years I could have had a vocal producer that me and him just worked on vocals every day, and I didn't have to sit around while they did guitars or drums. And so that was the first new thing really we brought into this record, and it was great because every single day we focus on everything down to the individual words, and I've never focused like that before. And yeah, it was crazy, and I really think that really made the record. And going with Nick was great because he ended up engineering our last record under Joey Sturgis, and the guys hit it off with him, and he's like an instrumental guitar guru, and they didn't want to record with anyone else, and they really wanted to go with Nick, and we already knew him already ahead of time, so it was sort of like a instant bonding. And then Andrew Wade came out of nowhere. We were just sending stuff out for text mixes, and he was actually not even on our list. He came and said that he wanted to do the record, and like you said, he did Day to Remember and all that, and we're like, oh my God, like I don't even know what it'll sound like. We've never had anyone like this do our record. It's gonna be crazy. And he sent it back, I think, the first test mix, and we didn't really send any edits. We were like, this is amazing. And yeah, everything sort of felt like freakishly into place like a puzzle, and it was great.
How hard did they push you, Levi, on this for vocals on this new album, man? Did they push you pretty hard on this, or just let you go at your own pace and then step in?
Yeah, it's probably the hardest I've ever been pushed, because the thing that Drew really likes and wanted to do was with this record, because like I said, we wanted to stand out as a Miss May I record and sort of top anything we've released and sort of go one step further from the world we were in. And when Drew was doing the vocals, he wanted to record. He wanted me to feel sort of uncomfortable every time I did something. And the reason I'm happy I did, because it came out great. But what I mean by that is when I would record something or write something, a lot of stuff would come easy, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be great here. And he's like, yeah, but it was too easy. Like we have to make it a little bit crazier. So we keep making it crazy, and then we make it so crazy to the point where I'm like, I don't know if I want to record this. And he's like, yep, that's the one we're going to use. And then we did that the entire record. And he made me just be outside of my box, which I'm really happy he did, because it brought a lot of honesty and a lot of stuff I've never put on a record before.
Right.
And yeah, I'll never. I don't even think about music the same or writing the same. I'll never not do that again. And it's so great. It's so great walking in the vocal booth terrified recording than it is to feel comfortable and just lay something down that you always lay down. It's great to be like, oh man, I don't even know if what this is going to sound like, if it's even going to sound good, and then you do it and you listen back to it and you're like, wow, this is so different. Mm-hmm. And that's what makes the record so different, sort of topping the other Miss May I albums. So I'm really happy we did that on this record.
Any songs off the Shadows Inside album, Levi, that stand out more to you than any on it possibly?
Oh yeah, the last song, My Sorrow. That's my favorite song. I think it's my favorite Miss May I song we've ever recorded. Okay. It's the saddest and most, I don't know, you just get a feeling and that you never really get from metal when you listen to that song, and I love that.
Would you consider this album darker than previous releases?
This record, I would say, is sort of, because I would say our last record was probably we were in the darkest place. This one it's really cool because it's sort of a new chapter for us. We got rid of everything that was sort of bringing us down. We got rid of him and got rid of that team and sort of got rid of all those people. And they were around us for years. And we finally manned up and got rid of everyone. And so going into this album, there was so much uplifting and empowering emotions going into it. But we also wanted to get the truth out as well and let people know the stuff that was really happening that we couldn't talk about prior. So this record definitely has its dark moments because of that, but there's so many empowering moments in this record. And I think that's the emotion the band feels right now because we're free from everything that was really bringing us down. Everyone in the band feels like we're 16 again. And we're on our first tour. So that's the emotion sort of that I feel the record's based around.
How much growth musically have you seen yourself and the band go through up to the release of Shadows Inside?
Oh man, it's crazy. There's songs on this record that we're playing live that I can't believe it's our band.
Oh yeah.
I'm jamming out and the lights are going off. People are losing their minds, and I'm like, this is crazy because this is not what we sounded like when we were in a basement starting out this band. I'm like, this is a real rock metal. This is a real show, and
yeah,
it's really cool because. That's going back to what I was saying about this record being it's weird to say so digestible, but it really is. It's anyone can listen to this, and I feel like they're going to nod their head and be like, okay, I understand what's going on. And I've always loved that because we've always been that band that sort of bridged people into liking metal. We were always you were my first favorite metal band, and then I started getting into really crazy heavy stuff, and I was I always thought that's really special. And this record, I think we just took that one step further to really. I honestly think a grandma could listen to this and she'd nod her head and be like, "Oh, I like this. I understand what you're doing," and I think that's great because
yeah,
and that's all organically. It's not like we go out of our way to do that, but the more we open ourselves up and just not delete things and be like, "Yeah, let's do it. Let's go over the top. Let's just play what we want to play." That's what comes out, and I think that's what makes Miss May special.
How do you like working with SharpTone Records?
Oh, they're amazing. It's really crazy because we've been with Rise. We signed with them when we were 16, and we've been with them our whole lives, every record we've done. And Rise was great. Rise never did anything bad, and they helped build Miss May, and we're still really close with them. But SharpTone, it's so cool right now that this is happening at this time because it's such a new environment and new people to talk to and new ideas that it's so refreshing. And I think it was a perfect time for that. And my biggest thing I love about SharpTone is that they're worldwide. They have offices in every country in the world, and that's great for us and crazy for us because metal's bigger everywhere else but America. So to have that support all around the world really, really helps us out. And prior to that, Rise was just a few guys in Portland running everything, and this is offices all over. And SharpTone's been great, and they're a young label based out of Nuclear Blast, and so they're as crazy as we are, and I think that's why we ended up signing with them because they want to succeed as much as we want to succeed, and we always have sort of ambitious ideas. And when we met with them, they had crazier ideas, and we didn't feel so insane. So we're like, these are the guys we need to go with.
Levi, do you do anything differently to keep your mind fresh and open to lyrics, or that you've not done before, and to block everything out? Do you do anything differently?
That's always the hardest thing for me to go into records because you definitely don't want songs to sound the same or being about the same thing. This record that was different was. Going back to the uncomfortable thing, all the topics I was writing about, I sort of had to make them feel uncomfortable, make them be something I didn't really want to talk about. But that's where the honesty comes because any day I could have just said I wanted to write an empowering metal song or I wanted to write a pissed off metal song. Those come easy to us, which is fine. We have records and records of that, but this time it's why don't we write about something that we sort of don't want to write about or it's going to be hard to get out and then sit back and listen to it. And that's what we did this whole record through. So I know there's a lot of topics about self-doubt, which is something I never really want to talk about because I don't really want that vibe as a person. But I shouldn't keep that bottle up, but I should really see what it sounds like as a song. We wrote a lot of songs like that for this record.
What do you hope your fans take away from this album?
Well, the whole record is based off past, and it's all about past that we sort of went through as a band, and whether they're good or bad. Everyone has a past, and they all have this. And that's where Shadows Inside comes from. They all have these shadows inside of them. And there's great ones, and there's horrible ones, and there's sad ones, and happy ones. And but people try to forget those, or if it's a great one, they forget them on accident. And that's what we want this record is to to sort of just have people reminiscing themselves about their past and about the things they went through in their lives, and even the bad, how good it has changed their life. Because everyone's moving forward, and everyone has, like I said, everyone has those shadows, and that's what at the end I really just hope people feel empowered, even if they're going through a horrible time, and just accept that there's always going to be a past behind them.
What can fans expect at a show from the mighty Miss May I when they come to see you guys? I got to catch you at Rock on the Range a couple years ago, but what can they expect from you guys?
Well, this tour is a little different because it's the first time we really got to bring a crazy production and a crazy show. And the reason we went so over the top and really wanted a show that was bigger than sort of bigger than Miss May I itself, just bigger in general, was because that's how we felt this record is. When we listen to this record, there's so many over-the-top riffs and there's so many epic parts that we wanted to not just give a performance to the fans, but we wanted to give them a show. And so this tour that we're about to do, it's the biggest production we've ever had. And the show it's weird because we're a metal band, but the show is borderline emotional because we put so much into it. And there's so many parts. It's crazy. It's like a real show. We wanted to make up for the time that we took off not headlining, because we haven't headlined in 5 years. So we really wanted to do something that was going to turn people's heads. And it's so great on our point of view every day walking on stage, because everything goes off and all these lights and smoke, all this crazy stuff starts happening on stage. And it's awesome to see people's faces because we never get to do that. And I'm really excited to bring that to fans, especially that have seen us 10 or 20 times. Going to be great to be like, hey, here's something real special.
What's your take on the digital era that we live in with music, as far as recording music and the distribution of music?
My big thing is, it's such a weird thing to answer because it's changing so much.
It is.
I honestly think it's making it a little bit harder for bands because we have to be releasing stuff more and touring more. But I also think that's fine because that's just what it is. And it's sort of great because our generation that's going through that isn't going to know any different. It's not like you hear these stories and see these movies about the 80s and bands doing 1 or 2 tours a year and people buying the records, and that's just how it was. But some of the younger bands coming up never even lived through that, so they don't know that it was easier. So I think it's sort of a catch-22 because, yeah, it used to be a lot more glamorous and crazy, but not to say it's not as glamorous and fun and as special as it was then. It's just we don't know that. It's sort of looking at like a history book and being like, wow, this is what it used to be. It's sort of like the dinosaurs of it. So it's a catch-22. It sucks, but then again, I don't really know what I'm missing because I can't really say it sucks because I wasn't there when it was really crazy.
Yeah, when you get to hold that old school cassette tape in your hand or that CD in your hand, and get a studio recording, that you feel it. I mean, you can just feel it. Now it's amazing that a plug-in, folks, a little freaking plug-in that you install on your computer to your program could cost you up to $1,000. I'm like, really? It's insane.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. And that's like my little brothers are 15, 17, and they don't even. I like bring up vinyl, or not even vinyls, just like CDs and stuff.
Yeah.
But the crazy thing to them is they never even lived through that, and that wasn't that far ago, like that long ago. It's just one generation away, and
that's scary.
Yeah, they didn't even experience that, and it's like I remember being your age and saving up money to buy a CD, and you would think you hear that from your parents, and you hear that from like your grandparents about, oh, I used to buy this cassette tape, it was 8-track, and it feels so far away, and such a long time ago, and it really isn't. It changes so fast that they just don't know what they're missing. And then I think it's just going to keep being like that. I think like my kids I'm going to be showing them stuff that they're going to think is ancient, and they're going to show me stuff that I don't even know how to process. And I think that's the coolest thing / the scariest thing, because for bands it's terrifying, especially the older the band gets, because our band's coming up on 10 years, and back in the day it was all about MySpace and one social media to worry about, and now there's 20 social media. There's a new one every single day that our band has to make a profile on and start promoting, and it's just I don't even know where to catch up. And it's not even that we're older guys, it's just how fast everything goes.
And most of the time it's a headache too. I mean, with everything the way it's changing, and plus you're right, dude, it's so scary to see how the music is going to be put out, generations to come. It's a scary, scary thing, man.
Yeah, especially since no one worries really about. I think the craziest thing is nobody really worries about stores anymore. It's not about, oh, I have to get my CD in stores and Best Buy and all these record stores. It's all about oh, I have to get on Spotify and iTunes. And you can do that in your boxers at home for free.
Yeah.
You can just put a song up, and it's like you don't even need labels anymore because nobody's even buying the records that labels used to put out. So like everything's changing. I think it's a great time to be alive and sort of be on the sidelines, but it's also keeping you on your toes because you're like, what is going to happen next?
What made you want to become a musician? What was that spark for you, Levi?
Well, my mom's always been a really, really big into music, and she's covering tattoos, crazy purple hair. She's always been taking me to metal shows ever since I was a kid, and so I always thought being in the band would be really awesome. I had like basses growing up, and I just loved that. I had the spiky necklace and the crazy hair, Slipknot shirts. Like I just loved heavy music. And when I got into high school, I met these guys, and we started just playing some cover songs. And I didn't even know what I was doing in the band. They were just like, I moved to this school, and they were like, hey, we're starting this band, and I was skateboarding with them. I'm like, well, that's cool because it's nighttime. You can't skate at night. And I'm 15, so we'll go in the basement and jam. And we just kept doing that. And yeah, and I sort of just loved it. I loved having, because I've always been sort of a quiet guy, and I love having that time to let loose and to really get all that emotion out that I can't get out in a normal.
Is there any show or moment that stands out to you since forming your band?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think the craziest show, at least for me, that really was like game-changing was we got to open up Main Stage Download in Donington.
Nice.
Yeah, that was the craziest because I don't know. That's something that is such a pipe dream growing up as a kid and seeing DVDs, and then we actually got to do it. I don't even remember it when it happened. I was so nervous I sort of blacked out.
Yeah, Donington's like that. That's the biggest festival I think that you can be on as far as music wise.
It is. It's the biggest rock festival in the world, and we got to play the first band on stage of the week, and it was insane.
You know, man, I'm sure you guys get this, but what's it mean to you when you receive an email from a fan or prior to the shows or after the shows? They say that Miss May I's music has pulled them through a bad experience or gave them inspiration to overcome obstacles, or it's made them just to relax with the everyday bullshit that we go through. What's that mean to you guys when you receive that?
It's so weird because it's such a heavy, big thing for someone to say to us. And it's hard sort of to accept that and sort of just, because we can't even just say thank you, you know what I mean? That's such a big thing that people depend on with the music. But I think that's crazy because that's not, when all that stuff happens, it's not what the band, that's not why we go out and write our songs. We go out and write our songs because we like the songs. And when you hear that it saves all these people and it helps all these people in these different ways, and they listen to them when they're in the military on patrol, and just all these crazy stories, you're like, wow, it's not why we wrote what we wrote the song for, but it's amazing what music can do.
Folks, this new album is going to come out June 2nd on SharpTone Records. I've already got to preview it, and I've got to say this is awesome. And I'm not saying it just because Levi's on here. Krystal knows who I am. If I don't like it, I just say it. I mean, it's just simple as that. But I'm just saying that Shadows Inside is awesome. Never Let Me Stay is awesome. My Destruction, Crawl, Swallow, Lost in the Gray, My Sorrow. This whole album is great. So I think this is really cool. I really think this is cool, the turn that you guys have done. So kudos, man.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yeah, we worked a lot. We worked really hard on this one. I definitely think something special is happening for this one.
Before I let you go, good sir, how can folks stay in touch with you guys, buy some merch, buy this album, and keep up with your tour dates? How can they do that, Levi?
We're a one-stop shop. Everything's at MissMayImusic.com. You can see everyone's socials, pre-order the album, get some merch, get tickets, everything on MissMayImusic.com.
Before I let you go, would you care to do a promo for my show?
Yeah, no worries. What's up? This is Levi, the vocalist of Miss May I, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Everybody stick around. We got some great music coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour. And for my lovely co-host,
Krystal.
We'll see you guys next week. Thanks, Levi.
Oh, anytime. Thank you.